Hi Bookish friends, it's Michelle back with another video. This one is a Tag Tuesday video and I have a new tag I was tagged in recently by David at David GF Orlando. Thank you so much for tagging me, David. I always appreciate it. I really enjoy doing these. I'm not sure. I think a lot of people like to watch them. I like to watch them. So yeah, I'm always happy to be tagged. I will link the creator of this original tag in the description as well. And this is the long one, so let's go. Let's just get right into it. Question number 1. 5 books that define your taste. So this is, I have so many to choose from that could really define my taste, but these are the ones that really stood out to me. So first of all, I've done a dedicated video of a deep dive into this book, but it's Ragged Company by Richard Wagamese. This is a story of a group of unhoused Indigenous people living in Toronto and how they discover an unclaimed lottery ticket worth $13.5 million. However, they run into all kinds of problems in claiming the money as none of them have a permanent address and so forth. And we follow their individual stories, what led them to their current situation and their relationships. It's just a fantastic read, just beautiful. So this will be forever one of my favorite books of all time, and I would urge you to pick it up if you haven't picked it up. Another book that really defines my reading taste is my very favorite horror writer, and that is Grady Hendrix, and this is my favorite book of his, called We Sold Our Souls. This one has a fantastic female protagonist. It has to do with a rock band who, like a former rock band in the 90s, who disbanded under contentious circumstances. And the female lead guitarist named Chris is our protagonist. This is a story of revenge, a good versus evil, good old-fashioned battle. And yeah, it is a rollicking good time. If you're new to Grady Hendrix and you are curious, I would recommend this one because of all his books, this is my very favorite. What can I say? Another one that would define my reading taste is a real departure from the other two, and that is Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart. This is Scottish. It's a Douglas Stewart, Scottish writer. And we're following 2 young boys back in the I believe in the 90s in Edinburgh, where there was a lot of civil unrest going on between the Protestant and the Catholic communities. We're following a boy named Mungo and his dysfunctional family. His brother belongs to a street gang and there's a lot of violence with him. Mungo himself is just trying to grow up in this turbulent atmosphere, and he meets James, who is a Catholic boy. Mungo is Protestant. They develop a relationship. But I'm not doing it justice. I bought this book on a Friday, was finished reading it by Sunday, and ran out and got another copy to give to my sister because I was blown away by this novel. It's fantastic. I also have read Shuggie Bain by the same author. A great book. This one I like better. And yeah, it's just fantastic. So another all-time favorite. Another book that kind of defines my reading taste is a thriller. I love a good popcorn thriller with twists and things you don't see coming, weird, abnormal psychology. This one checked all the marks for me, and that is All Is Not Forgotten by Wendy Walker. I read a couple of hers and really enjoyed a couple of them. I wouldn't say I'm a devotee of her books. I haven't liked all of her books that I've read, but this is my favorite. This is one that I really enjoyed. We're following a family, and this story is told from the point of view. We get multiple POVs. Their family therapist is the one telling the story of a brutal attack, I believe a murder that happened. Yeah, an attack at a party. A young girl was attacked. And in the hours immediately thereafter, she's given a controversial drug to medically erase her memory of the violent assault. But in the weeks and months that follow, as she heals from her physical wounds and with no factual recall of the attack, Jenny struggles with her raging emotional memory. Her father, Tom, becomes obsessed with his inability to find her attacker and seek justice, while her mother, Charlotte, struggles to pretend that this horrific event has not touched her carefully constructed world. So, yeah, we get the point of view from their therapist who's helping these people. It's fascinating. I really enjoy this. It's been a lot of years since I read it, but it's one that I would highly recommend. And the other book that would really define my reading taste, because I had to pick 5, is The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. If you read this, you know. Yes, it's a very big book, but I read it over the course of about 10 days. I absolutely could not put it down. It is so beautifully crafted, and the characters are so realistic that you can put yourself in this time and place, empathize with these people and what they're going through. We're following a family in southern India, in Kerala, I believe. They live near the water, and the water is a big theme, obviously, in this book, but this family believe that they are cursed. A couple members of the family, because every so often there is a tragic drowning that happens to them and they don't know why. We're following different characters in the same family, different generations. It is epic. It is beautiful, like I said, wildly entertaining. I could not put it down once I started reading it, and it's the exact kind of book I love as a reader to just sit down with, and it's like a portal to another world. Let's put it that way. Really immersive. So yeah, this also would define my reading taste. All right. Number 2, books you were obsessed with during different eras in your life. All right. This is one that I was obsessed with. I was so excited when it was adapted into a movie. Went and saw the movie with my dad. We both loved it years and years ago when it came out. I've watched the movie since. Loved it. And the book I'm talking about is The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. If you don't know, this story we're following 10-year-old Susie Salmon, who was the unfortunate victim of a creep in their neighborhood, and she was raped and murdered, and she is telling her story from the great beyond, from the spirit world where she now lives. So it's fantastic how this crime happened, the relationships of the family and the after effects, the cataclysmic fallout from all of this between her mother and father, her grandparents, her younger siblings, as well as the villain in here, who is spectacular. Stanley Tucci plays him in the film, and it's one of my favorite performances of any movie of all time. When I saw him on the screen, I gasped out loud because he looked exactly as I had pictured him in my head when I was reading this book. So if you haven't read it, it's a fantastic novel to get lost in, and I was obsessed with this. And it's never left me, so there you go. Another book that I was obsessed with a couple years ago, because this was a book that really changed my mind about first-person narration. I never liked it that much until I read this book. And the book I'm talking about is Death in Her Hands by Ottessa, Moshfegh. This is a fantastic book we're following a woman, an elderly woman whose husband has passed away, so she's on her own. And she lives in a densely forested area. One day, she and her golden retriever are out for a walk in the woods. She comes across a note that says, her name was Magda. Nobody will ever know who killed her. It wasn't me. Here is her dead body. However, there is no dead body. This lady, her name is, I forget what her name is. I don't know the name of the main character. Anyway, she becomes obsessed with finding the body because she finds the note that the killer left. So we follow her slow journey, what she goes through psychologically. And yeah, this is one that's a slow burn, and it just barrels to a really gripping conclusion. Love this one. I read it obsessively, and I couldn't stop thinking about it afterwards. So there you go, another one. Another book that I absolutely loved at the time I read it back, let's see here. This book came out in, I want to say 2014. No, 2007. So yeah, this book is almost 20 years old. The book I'm talking about is Water for Elephants by Sara Gruen. Fantastic book. We're jumping back and forth between present and past. We're following a circus that had a Depression era circus that's fallen on hard times. And so they are, yeah, they're not doing well. In order to survive and keep their animals alive, they're having to, and kept their animals fed. They're having to kill the older animals to feed the younger ones and so on. And anyway, we follow Jacob, our main character, and he has suffered a tragedy while he's in veterinary college. His parents are killed, so he's wandering in life. He doesn't know what he's going to do. He happens upon this circus. He gets a job with them as a veterinarian, and the circus hire him because they're struggling. They need to make money. They need to keep their animals alive, and so forth. So there begins the story. It's romantic. It's got fantastic action. It's fast-paced. We get the different POVs. Jacob telling us his story, and yeah, also fantastic movie adaptation starring Reese Witherspoon and Robert Pattinson, I believe, and yeah. Oh, and Christoph Waltz, of course, who plays the villain. Another masterful performance. So I was obsessed with this one, Water for Elephants by Sara Gruen. And another one I was obsessed with, I've talked about this before, Out by Natsuo Kirino, translated by Stephen Snyder. Fast-paced, action-packed, dark. It's been described as a feminist noir book. Everyone who I've told about, recommended it to, has also enjoyed it a lot. And I haven't had anyone tell me they didn't like this book after they had read it. So yeah, just a fantastic one that I was just obsessed with. I couldn't wait to share it with people after I read it. I still love to talk about it. And then, of course, we have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I was obsessed with this. I'm still obsessed with her. I can't wait for her next book to come out. I'm not sure when that'll be, but this book made me an instant fan, auto-buy author of mine. I will read everything she ever writes. Another one I recommended to everyone who would listen to me, and everyone I recommended it to also liked it. So yeah, Station 11, I think it speaks for itself. If you don't know, please look it up. I'm going to try and keep this video, as short as possible. So yeah, this was a fantastic read. What can I say? So yeah, after all those, I was starting to have a pretty good idea of my reading taste too. So it made it kind of easier to choose my next reads after having read those books. Number 3, my favorite genres. Okay, I like everything basically. It's easier for me to name things I don't particularly like. I'm not a big romance person. I'm not a big Western person. I tried to read Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry years ago, and I got about 200 pages in and I couldn't do it anymore. It just wasn't interesting to me. I needed more plot, more substance, more interesting characters. Maybe it was my mood at the time. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not a fan of romance or Westerns. And that's about it. Those are the two only genres that I really wouldn't necessarily, it's not that I wouldn't try them. I just would need some convincing to pick them up. So I wouldn't read them as readily as other books, say a fantasy or even a sci-fi or a literary fiction or what have you. All right, so number 4, favorite authors. Okay, I'll just rattle off a few. Ian McEwan, David Mitchell, Stephen King, Emily St. John Mandel, Ottessa Moshfegh, Elizabeth Hay, Richard Wagamese. Who else? Donna Tartt, Eleanor Catton, Hanya Yanagihara, I could go on and on. So there, you get an idea anyway of my favorites. Number 5, favorite form of reading, physical books. 10 times out of 10, it's always a physical book. I have tried audio. I can't relate. I can't get invested with an audiobook. It's just noise, goes in one ear and out the other. And so that's not useful to me. I do appreciate that it works for a lot of people. I'm not one of those people. And yeah, I don't do ebooks either. E-readers, I like to actually flip pages. I like to feel the weight of the book in my hands. I like the full sensory experience of the smell of the book. I like the sound that it makes when I'm flipping pages. I love the artwork in full 3D real life color. So yeah, physical book. Number 6, favorite book characters. I have so many. I mean, I love the cast of characters in Station 11 that I mentioned. I love Miranda in that book. I loved all the traveling symphony people in that book. I love the characters in Covenant of Water. I love Theo Decker in The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I love Stephen King's quirky, fun characters. I like, yeah, there's too many to mention. Norma Joyce in the book Student of Weather by Elizabeth Hay. She's one of my all-time favorites. So yeah, just to name a few. Favorite series. Well, I'm not a big reader of series, but my favorite, let's say, is the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. Ongoing. I'm only on the 4th book. The 5th is out, so I'm a little bit behind, hoping to catch up. Number 8, series you're most excited to finish. Again, the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I may not finish till the year 2053, but who cares? I'll enjoy the ride. All right, number 10, a book you predict will be a favorite. The book I'm currently reading, which is 11/22/63, is blowing my mind right now. I am absolutely invested. Can't put it down. I am going to go back to reading it after I film this video. Absolutely loving it. And it's a much faster read than I had anticipated. So for sure, it's going to be one of my favorite books that I've read this year. 11, favorite special edition, favorite book cover, most beautiful book. All right, well, let's see. I don't have a lot of, I don't know. I don't really have any particular special editions or favorite covers. I am attracted to book covers though. I love anything colorful and or unique that catches my eye. I have purchased a lot of books just based on the cover art alone. So yeah. Number 12, if you could go buy a book right now, what book would you buy just for fun? I have a couple on my radar. First of all, I have All We Can Know by Ian McEwan, one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite British authors. His new release, it's supposed to be like an eco-thriller or something like that, but he's got such a unique way of writing. I can't wait to read that one. There's also a new book out by O'Kinyon Braithwaite, author of My Sister the Serial Killer, which I loved. I think her new release is called Cursed Daughters. So those are two that I would for sure purchase if I were buying books right now. Number 13, favorite bookish merch you own and shops you like. I don't actually have any bookish merch. I have one coffee mug. I have some bookmarks, but I haven't purchased those. I just have found them in used books. So I can talk more about the shops I like. I mean, I'm lucky that I live in a city that has a lot of small independent bookstores as well as used bookstores, which I can easily spend an afternoon or half a day looking around in. And yeah, there are a lot of new ones that have cropped up that I haven't been to yet. So I'm excited to check them out. Number 14, favorite book creators. There are so many. That's been one of the best things about BookTube is the people I've met and interacted with on here. I'm going to link their channels below. I have so many new friends, new acquaintances, and fantastic channels that I enjoy watching. So yeah, and if you want to participate and do this tag, please feel free to do so. Somebody's got their snowblower going outside because today it's snowing for the first time this year, so pardon the noise. With that, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.